So, Vinod, we talk about companies, they're ready to make more money, they want to scale, they want to grow. Can you tell us how Odoo kind of allows for that omni-channel presence, the ability to incorporate POS,
Yeah,
online sales, offline sales?
yeah. Okay, so think of any ERP system. What is the core of an ERP system? That is like it provides you a single system which can actually flow the data from one side to the other, side of the system. So when you're actually looking at this omni-channel setups, what it does, it actually gives you multiple touch points, right, for your end customers to interact, like, place orders, see their, cart and all that. So having a centralized database means, it is actually it can actually facilitate multiple systems, which is connected to that centralized database. So think of Odoo's, as an out of the box solution. Odoo has a POS system. Odoo has a website, has an e-commerce part of it. So it just sorry. So it's going to keep that centralized DB. Everything is actually shared. So you can have a customer walk into a store, place an order, and see his transaction when he actually logs back into his, into our e-commerce store. So it's all about the central database and having multiple systems connected with it. It's not just the out of the box Odoo. You can actually connect multiple other tools connected with Odoo. You can run a separate e-commerce website. You can run your own mobile app, which can actually talk to Odoo. If Odoo act as a centralized system, which is going to keep track of your inventory, your costing, your accounting, and all that, you can actually define n number of channels which is connected to Odoo, which is going to provide those touch point to your customers. So yeah.
Wow. Um, let's say, I've already got a website or an e-commerce set up. Can I integrate within Odoo, or do I kind of, what's the best practice for that? Or
Okay.
somebody's coming to look in.
Yeah. So see, Odoo has an e-commerce module with it. But then if you're actually having an e-commerce system, you're happy with it, I don't think there's any need to replace that system. Odoo as a system comes with an inbuilt API. Okay, API stands for Application Program Interface, which allows you to connect other systems with Odoo. So using that, you can actually connect your other e-com stores, your other any sort of tools which you're using to Odoo using this API, and it can make sure the data is, flowing between the system.
So has Confianz or you, Vinod, have you ever developed or created an integration with
Uh-huh.
API from Odoo to another e-commerce platform, or could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So that is actually a legacy customer of us who's been as I'm sorry, been with us for the last 10 plus years. Yeah. So for them, we actually use an e-commerce platform called PrestaShop, and then have an Odoo in the backend, and then connected these two systems using the API again. So the PrestaShop getting the data from Odoo and showcase all the product to their end customers. When the order is placed, it comes back to Odoo, and from Odoo they can process the credit card capturing and all that. So that's a perfect example where we have an e-commerce website connected with Odoo, and then that e-commerce website is acting as a front end to their customers. It has all those CMS features, all those e-com features, everything, including the customer reviews and everything. But Odoo is the back end. That is actually the brain behind that entire setup. So it's a two-way channel communication, which means data is actually going from Odoo to the website, from the website to the Odoo. So this is one of the example. So we integrated like many systems connected with Odoo. From an e-commerce standpoint of view, you name it, PrestaShop, Magento, Shopify, WooCommerce, and all that. And then, when it comes to integration, it's not just about e-commerce. You can have other tools designed for a particular purpose. Let's call it ShipStation. We have an integration connected with ShipStation. We have there is something called an SPS Commerce, which is used for EDI interchanges. We have a connector built with SPS Commerce. So we kind of build all sort of different integrations. In fact, in Confianz, Odoo actually brought up this connection with this shipping carriers like FedEx, UPS, and all that. I think in their version 9, that's when they brought in all these modules as a part of Odoo. But when Odoo was in version 6, we actually built an integration directly with FedEx, UPS, USPS. And that time it supports more functionalities than what the current Odoo connection works, because it supports multiple packages. It support a master label and child labels. It support a rate comparison between different carriers. It supports home and ground deliveries, like checking whether the address is residential or not. So when it comes to integration with other system, I would proudly say Confianz is one of the experts in doing that, because we know the system in and out. We know the technical abilities of the system, like how it can connect with the other system. So you name another system, we'll go in, we'll make sure they have an API, and those APIs can be connected with Odoo, and our developer teams are like, they'll be on it, and they can connect any system as long as they have an API.
So ShipStation. I know we have ShipStation and we have ShipEngine.
Okay.
Can you talk to me about how they're similar, but also a little bit of the differences? Because I know you have two different connectors.
Yes. So ShipStation and ShipEngine is basically sister companies which does almost similar things. They actually facilitate a logistic or a shipping tool where you can actually process your shipments. So the major difference between a ShipStation and a ShipEngine is ShipStation comes with a UI, which means you can actually log into a portal, you can see all those shipments there, you can actually process it within ShipStation, you can see those labels generated from there. You can, in fact, you can actually use it as a bridge connecting Odoo to multiple other solutions as well, because ShipStation have different sort of integrations. You name it, Amazon, eBay, Walmart, they have a connection with all those different stores. So you can bring in orders into ShipStation and from there to Odoo using your connector. Going into ShipEngine, ShipEngine is a dedicated shipping tool which is designed for integration with other systems, like through APIs. It doesn't have a UI. You can't actually log into somewhere and you can actually generate labels and all that. But ShipEngine, one of the coolest thing in ShipEngine is like they actually provide everything over over the API. So if you're connecting another system, you can perform almost everything. If you are directly connecting with UPS, you can do all that stuff through ShipEngine, unlike ShipStation. I'll give one of the perfect example, which is actually multi-package shipment. Okay, because this is something which most of our customers ask, in between a ShipStation integration conversation is like, can it support multi-package shipments? So usually multi-package shipments means you have one order, like one sales order coming in, and you are actually shipping it in, let's say, multiple boxes, probably big products, so it going out in multiple boxes. So that's what a multiple package shipment means. Like all these boxes needs individual labels, and these boxes can be tracked individually as well, meaning these boxes will have its own tracking number. So ShipStation does support multiple package shipments, but here's a catch: they don't have an API for this. So if you're having Odoo and it is talking to ShipStation, it will not be able to process multi-package shipments through ShipStation. There is an alternative to that. We'll talk about it. But just as a comparison, but if you are considering ShipEngine, it can actually do this out of the box. You can actually do multiple package shipments. You can actually see the rates. You know, if your shipment is going in 5 boxes, what it takes compared to 1 box, and you can generate 5 labels back into Odoo. So a multi-package shipment is easy in ShipEngine, whereas in ShipStation you have to look for alternate routes.
Okay. So the main difference then for like when you're working with Odoo is everything is handled through ShipStation's UI versus ShipEngine. That's coming back.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you typically, when would ShipStation be the right option versus ShipEngine?
Okay. So we only talked about one major difference, multiple boxes or multi-package. It's not limited to that. ShipStation have other integrations, Amazon, eBay, Magento, Shopify, all that. So if you're if you're actually selling through different channels, ShipStation is the way to go, because you can actually kill 2 birds in one go. That is, you can actually have those integrations connected through ShipStation, because you don't have to have a connection built from Odoo to all these different platforms. If you're having multiple channels for your sales, you can actually automate all that through ShipStation, which is not a case in ShipEngine. So if you are actually selling through multiple channels, multiple boxes, you may be doing it, but every now and then I would say ShipStation is the way to go. But if you're just doing all your sales generated from Odoo, from the Odoo website, or over the phone call, email, or all those orders generated from Odoo, and you want to process it, you don't want to leave Odoo, you want to stay within Odoo and process your shipments, get the labels and everything into Odoo, ShipEngine is the way to go. Especially if you're having multiple package shipments. There is another big animal we haven't talked about, which is LTL shipments. LTL shipments is supported through both those systems, but I would say ShipEngine does a better job when it comes to LTL shipments. So if you're doing a lot of LTL shipments also, ShipEngine might be the way to go.
And both ShipStation and ShipEngine use APIs. You mentioned SPS Commerce uses an EDI.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about the SPS Commerce connection to Odoo?
Yeah. So SPS Commerce is, think of it as a bridge. Okay. SPS Commerce can actually process EDI files. So by EDI files, think of it, you actually have a customer who places orders and they have a system. Okay. And when they want to place an order with you, this will be applicable more for the wholesale businesses, by the way. Sorry. So these wholesale businesses place orders and they will actually send you an EDI file. It looks like a text file and it has a format and all that, how you want it to be. For example, 850 meaning a purchase order. So in EDI word, it just says, I processed an 850, which means I got a purchase order and I put it into my system as a sales order. So these sort of things can be processed in SPS Commerce, which means they have a logic where you can onboard a new customer, put their logic into their system, which can actually translate this EDI files into human readable, format. That's one part of it. The other part is SPS Commerce then translate that EDI data in, they can actually send that thing as an EDI file over to you, or they can actually translate that EDI into an API, right? So when you're actually having your ERP system and you have your own partners and all that, processing these EDI files will take more time, more money. But if you have SPS Commerce in between, they're going to do all those EDI file processing and all that. So from an Odoo implementation point of view, you just connect with them, right? They'll actually process all those EDI files and all that. and they will actually send you human readable, I mean not human readable, but they can actually put it in a simple format, in an XML or in a JSON format, and you can easily process it. Same, the way back, like, if you are actually processing an 856, you can actually create a XML data and then send it over API to SPS Commerce. They'll actually translate that thing and convert that thing into an EDI file and send it with your customers. So think of SPS Commerce as a middleware who can actually process this EDI file, convert it into an API which is easy for the other side to process. They can send it to you. They can take your data, convert it into a format which the customers understand, and push it to their system.
And that's why we want a partner when we're working with Odoo, to help us with all these integrations and connections.
Yeah. Not just a partner who worked on EDIs, APIs, and who know what is the difference, what is going to be more cost effective. In some cases you want to directly connect Odoo with another system. In some cases you want a middleware that will be cost effective, right? So
thanks for watching today. Join us next time for part 4 of Unlocking Odoo, where we'll be walking you through what to expect during an Odoo implementation.